Justice delayed is either denied or manipulated. Does this statement hold true for Pi? Before I go on to explain further, first let's consider a common question. Is the Pi project a scam? To avoid assumptions and jumping into quick conclusions, let's consider 4 major requirements every good project is expected to meet. Number 1. Project credibility. Although Pi has gone through ups and downs in recent years, receiving criticisms for their lack of commitment to pioneers in regards to them not honoring dates and not being very transparent. But one thing we can't ignore is that we know the faces behind Pi and their background, which is enough to get many people relaxed to some extent when it comes to their credibility. Number 2 is community and market demand. According to Capital.com, as of November 2024, there were more than 60 million users mining Pi daily, growing from 12 million users as of June 2024. As of December 2024, the Pi token is being traded on several exchanges as an IOU. For instance, as at the time of making this video, CoinGecko reports that Pi is traded at approximately $51, with a 24-hour trading volume of around $286,000. Even though the Pi coin hasn't been launched, market sentiments are in its favor. Number 3. Utility. Pi is building an ecosystem where everything will happen. Presently, there are over 100 applications on the Pi network and still counting. Among them are Chainmall and Battermall. These are e-commerce platforms that have been successfully built on the Pi network technology with a goal to create innovative and secure shopping experience. Also on the network, there is the Workforce Pool. Workforce Pool, through the Pi blockchain technology, helps to create a transparent and traceable system for workers and recruiters alike. Data on the reputation of users are recorded on the network, which is open and accessible to all parties involved. Workforce Pool makes it possible for an employer to see potential job seekers' track record and reputation, and vice versa. The system is structured to build trust between workers and employers. The fourth one on the list, which is also the last one, is competition. One goal of Pi is to prioritize community by building a decentralized, user-driven economy where Pi tokens can be exchanged for goods and services. When it comes to being practical and making cryptocurrency mainstream currency, no other cryptocurrency is doing it like Pi, and that's their strong point. Pi's roadmap and what they have achieved so far, to some good extent, is promising, no doubt. Now back to the main question, will Pi ever launch? This question is as a result of numerous postponements of the Pi team to officially launch the mainnet. In December 2023, the team set specific conditions. The conditions were to reach 15 million KYC users and 10 million mainnet migrations. As of December 2024, while 18 million users have completed KYC, only 8 million users have migrated to mainnet. This statement is an update on the Pi blog as at the time of making this video. Now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about the serious problem. You see, Pi has chosen to model their blockchain based on the Stellar Consensus Protocol, a federated Byzantine agreement concept. How challenging can this be? The Stellar Consensus Protocol is designed for tolerance. This means that the network can progress even when some nodes fail or become unreliable. But the challenge with this is, excessive failures and unreliability in nodes or validators can put the network at risk of halting, which is when a network stops making progress, or splitting, where the network agrees on two values. To prevent this from happening, a network configuration needs to balance properties of safety and liveness. For clarity's sake, let's do a quick run through on how nodes are structured on the Stellar Consensus Protocol blockchain. Nodes are validators on the network. Each individual node chooses a subset of nodes that it trusts and depends on to reach consensus. These are called quorum sets. Every node must set a threshold in their quorum set. A threshold is the minimum number of nodes in a subset of nodes that is required to agree for the network to make progress. The combination of nodes that agree in the subset collectively is called a quorum slice. That's how nodes are structured on the network. Now, to maintain safety and liveness on the network, all quorum slices must be able to progress and at the same time overlap for consensus to be reached. What happens in the network if one property is given priority over another? To illustrate this, consider a network configuration of two quorums that overlap by a single node. Consider threshold is set at 67% for each quorum, which means that at least 3 out of 4 nodes in each quorum must agree for the network to make progress. If the overlapping node becomes unavailable, both quorums might agree on different values and still make progress, causing a fork or split in the network. In this case, liveness is given priority over safety, which puts the network at risk. On the other hand, consider two quorums are configured to overlap by 50% of the nodes. If those overlapping nodes behave unreliably, both quorums might stall, prioritizing safety over liveness. Because these problems arise as a result of poor configuration, it makes sense if Pi is taking their time to explicitly test the system. So Pi has introduced the concept of a trust graph. The trust graph will be used when setting up their quorum sets. Pi has also revealed their intention to provide an auxiliary graph analysis software to assist users running nodes to make as informed decisions as possible. Just as Stellar's quorum configuration checker, the software will analyze metrics like performance of nodes, behaviors, and so on. All these are stated in the Pi white paper. Also in the white paper, Pi talks about plans to develop algorithms that can take into consideration the trust graph and suggest to each node an optimal configuration, or even set the configuration automatically, same as with Stellar's automatic quorum configuration. Why I'm taking all this in with a pinch of salt is that Pi did go on to state that the idea is an interesting research problem for future work, and until now haven't released any updates on their progress so far. This leaves me with a question. Is the Pi network ready for mainnet yet? I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching.